And if you like your Koreans, if you like your Protosses, if you like your laser beams, make some noise for Jin Greenwings' Trap!
Game 5 on this map, because of the rich Vespian geysers that we have on this map as well, a lot of strategies are possible. You know, there's one thing that I mentioned a couple of times in the beginning of the year, and which is why I was so happy for Reynor when he finally won his first tournament at WCS Winter, is that sometimes on the biggest moments, Maynard, where it shouldn't have gone wrong, it has gone wrong for him in the past. We all think back of Montreal, WCS last year. Reynor was in a fantastic position. He was supposed to win that tournament in Game 6. He was very far ahead. In the end, he wasn't able to close it out. We're like, well, you know, that could happen. Then WSG, just a couple months later, he was up 2-0. He's winning Game 3 against Neep. Big moment as well, a lot of money on the line. Ended up losing Game 3, ended up losing the series. And at that point, you're starting to get worried, right? It's like, you know, like, can he actually close it out? Later we saw that he can close it out. I mean, he's won 2 WCS tournaments so far, so that's big. But at this moment, I'm sure that those voices are going through the back of your head again.
And it's just so hard when you're young and relatively new, all things considered, even though it feels like he's been around forever. Reynor is relatively new, and it's so hard when you're coming through in esports to silence those voices that are making you feel doubt, that are making you feel the pressure. You just got to play your A game. If Reynor can make a game 1, like a beautiful, beautiful one-sided game 1 where everything went to plan for the Zerg, if he can do that again here on Boiler Sleepers, that's all he needs, just one more map.
I was like, there was one more moment where I felt that Reynor was so close to greatness, and I suddenly remembered in the GSL back then where he won his opening match and he was up 1-0 against Maru. In the second game he shut down the 3 Rex and everyone's like, oh my god, Reynor's in the quarterfinals, and then it went wrong. He lost the game, he ended up losing the series, lost the next series as well. It could have been so different. I do think he shocked those demons off a little bit. I mean, he won 2 tournaments so far this year, but this is scary, man. This is these are the moments where you start thinking about it again. You're up 2-0, not a worry in the world. Suddenly you're in Game 5 with tournament live on the line.
Yeah. Getting those sweats happening up there on the stage. No doubt for Trap as well, feeling the pressure. This is a little bit of a tough map for the PvZs, but of course, you know, Protoss can also use that to their advantage. It's just one of those really tricky ones, like you mentioned.
There is, of course, pressure on Trap as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's on tournament live. His tournament live is on the line as well. But I'd still feel like, well, after those first 2 games, I didn't think I'd see a Game 5, right? So the momentum is definitely on the side of the Korean Protoss.
Reynor gets a very quick scout of the Stargate there, but not really anything super crazy. Stargate openings been happening 5 games in a row given Trap. And the first couple of depths, just about ready to shade across the map. It is a bit of a walk, or a bit of a shade, whatever you want to call it, but they are just going to have to try and come across here and slow the Zerg down a little bit, but I don't, you know, it's just such a long run. And the Lings are already here, Queens are already ready, Spores also. About to hit in.
I must say though, as a Zerg player, it's kind of difficult to always keep track of the adepts on this map, because like, yes, if you just sit at home and the adepts come immediately, you know when to expect them. But Trap is a world-class player. He's gonna get those adepts out there somewhere on the map, maybe show them and reveal them, but then he's gonna hide them again. And suddenly, when you least expect it, the adepts show up again. And if you then lose 5 drones, I mean, that could already be a disaster. Like, I don't even know where those adepts are right now.
Looks like they might be at home. Oh, there they are. Yeah, sorry, we have a small mini-map here for the casting desk. So they are coming on in, and not going to finish that shade. That would have been suicide for those depths. What about Trap's just going to rely on the oracles for damage here, and maybe just wait for the Lings to be on his side?
I love it though, like shading out, cancelling the shade, keeping them there. Let's see if the Phoenix and the Oracle can get some damage done here. No Queens in position, 1 drone goes down, but that's not the end of the world if you're Reynor.
Nah, completely fine. Damage is damage, and as long as the Oracle's fired, it continues to be a threat. Lair has begun here for Reynor this time, a lot more nicely timed of a Lair. Roach Warren as well, so Reynor looking pretty on point so far with the build order, taking very little damage.
I mean, this Lair is like 3 minutes faster than in the previous game. Of course, it's a different map and the openings are different, but I think that kind of says it all. And so far, the defense is good. A couple of sentries, quite a few sentries being produced already, so it could be maybe 1 Immortal into another War Prism push, something along those lines.
I think Trap tried to make something like that happen on this map against a laser, but it was off the back of like a 40-ish drone economy, of probe economy rather, and it was a really easy hold for the Polish Zerg from memory. But we are seeing a 3rd Nexus here, so still not super clear what Trap wants to go for. At the moment it just looks very, very standard, very macro focused.
Yep. Same on the side of Reynor, and of course, once again, we'll see. He's gonna make a couple of roaches here already, safety roaches. The Oracle's gonna fly into the main base, only a single Queen here, but this time the focus fire was a tiny bit off there, maybe for Trap as well. 5 drones is good, but that could have been worse.
Phoenix Go join your sisters, please. There we go. All right. He's out of there. So 5 drones go down, and as long as the Oracles survive, that is annoying for Reynor. Just 1 Spore and 1 Queen, never enough to handle 3 Oracles at once.
You know what's also annoying? If you're building roaches for quite some time and the Protoss doesn't actually attack you, you're like, oh, why did I make him in the first place? Those could have all been drones, and that would have made the economy of Reynor a bit stronger. And once again, I already said it once, but I think one of the biggest difference between game 1 and 2 and 4 is that in game 1 and 2, Reynor had his dream economy. In game 4, he looked alright, he had a big army, but 71 or like 90 plus workers is a massive difference in StarCraft 2, especially if you want to make 40 Banelings for every fight.
Now the Oracles come in, they get a bit of drone damage, but what they do see, I think, is the Infestation Pit back there. So that's a lovely tag.
You think that's Nidus then? I mean, actually, like Nidus Swarmos maybe?
I mean, he'll have to do it without upgrades if he does. I mean, Reynor, if he drops a Spire, I'm going to say Hive, but I'm with you if he doesn't. I think that could be Nidus Swarmhost. A strategy that he normally doesn't like super much in this in this matchup.
He has not used it once actually in the entire round of 16. We saw it a lot coming out of the Korean Zergs, but Reynor's banking up quite a bit of money. There we go, the first Swarmers are on the way. So a strategy that he apparently doesn't like, as he goes for a little bit of a run by here as well. He grabs 2 workers. All 3 Oracles still alive, by the way.
Yeah, and that's actually really handy for the Swarmhost as well. Looks like one of the Oracles going to go down as 4 Crawler. They're getting a fair bit of drone damage. 8 more in that run by, 9 more, 10 more.
Getting greedy there. He's going to try to recall these Oracles.
They're fine.
10 drones for 1 Oracle, that's okay, but you made a very good point there. You want to keep those Oracles alive to spot those Nidus networks from popping up. I don't know what to think here, because this, yes, is a very powerful strategy with a very high win rate, as we saw in the round of 16, but is Reynor comfortable with it?
I mean, like you mentioned, we haven't seen it too much. I know he can do it. He's an incredibly good Zerg and is a master of many, many strategies. He's in top 8 for a reason. It just seems like he's been more comfortable going to that Hive and Fest of Brood Lord sort of phase. The Adepts going forward, grabbing a few drones being transferred here. Do they see the Nidus Worm? Looks like the Nidus is well and truly out of position here, so no, it's not going to be the case. Trap is just making an Immortals. He is expanding right now, so it feels like he truly hasn't gotten wind of the strategy here of Reynor.
I don't think he's 100% sure. Going up to 4 base is going to make it harder as well, right? The first Nidus goes up, does this Phoenix
should see it, yes.
Yes, it does. Can he get that though? Oh, that's the last Oracle, right? I think the other one went down already. Can we take a look at the units lost?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we saw green blood, we know enough.
Oh, the first wave of Swarm hosts have come out here, and here comes the Locust going for the main of Trap, and also another Nidus into the main base as soon as he has that high ground vision. Are these Locusts going to go for the main?
Yeah, Zealots are no good, I think. I mean, Zealots will get a couple of these Locusts, but not enough. So I think the main base is in all the trouble here and should go down.
No, he's splitting his damage here, so the Nexus won't go down, but he is going to get a lot of probes, and like you mentioned, those Zealots as well.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty successful first wave. I still think I would have liked to get the Nexus there. No, now we're going to be stuck
Reynor!
anywhere.
Oh, Reynor! Oh!
My goodness.
You're those Swarm hosts stuck behind here, waiting for their bus home. And these Immortals, they're not going to let them go home. He's going to make him punish for his sins.
Don't forget that Reynor's got a lot of units on the other side of the map as well. He might still get a couple of probes with this. I mean, they're going to pop the Locust. This is the most important phase in the game. Can Trap keep his important units alive? Because Reynor is maxed out. He's got an insane amount of roaches. These 4 Immortals are not out on the map. So if I was Reynor right now, I'd be forcing a fight.
And it certainly seems to be the case here. Dropping the Nidus a little bit further back to reinforce this push of ground arming for the Zerg, the Roaches and the Ravagers, the Nidus network and the Swarm hosts, all replenishing this force here.
The longer he waits though, the more powerful this Protoss army becomes. Trap is already hovering around 150 supply. You often say that if they get around 170, 180, that's all that Protoss needs.
Ooh, I don't know. That's a lot of Archons here. Sentries with Guardian Shield, Force Fields as well. There's those Force Fields cutting into the Roach numbers. Out comes the Locust. Trap just needs to pull back away from the Locust every time they come out.
This is a smart play by Trap though, right? Because he's not losing a lot to the Locust, but he is losing probes apparently to these Roaches. This is a fantastic move by Reynor and exactly what he needed, because Reynor needs to keep under pressure right now. If he slows down, he's in all the trouble, but this was a fantastic move.
Absolutely beautiful play there from Reynor, going for that run by. Looks like the Nidus Worm is going to get shut down. Roaches, Swarm hosts as well getting cut back, but the Force Fields do not deny their escape.
I mean, Reynor's still maxed out, and it always looks very promising. And the damage that he did here, that's fantastic. But like I said, it's important to not slow down, right? Because one bad wave of Locust, and suddenly so much of that supply that makes him maxed out is not that useful anymore. He is stacking up during all of this, right? There is a Spire there, I believe Hive was on the way. So there is this is not an all-in, there is a plan B, but Reynor, he wants to keep Trap on his side of the map.
Certainly. The moment Trap pushes with all these Archons, with the Immortals as well, now that they are all together with the army, it actually becomes very, very shaky for Reynor to hold, even though he is up a lot in supply. Keep in mind that his army is very supply inefficient.
Yeah. The hype starts now, by the way, so Reynor needs to keep doing this for quite some time. If Reynor can get Brooklords out against the mass Immortal Archon army, that's fantastic. That's an easy win. But Trap is not going to sit back forever. He is hunting down these Nidus networks right now. There are a lot of Locusts, though.
Yeah, that third Nexus is DEAD. Down it goes. A lovely pick up there for those Locusts. Swarmhost starting to really do some damage here. But I gotta say, the army of Trap still looks extremely frightening.
Yep, this is one of those moments, right? Like if all of the Locusts clump up and 2 Archon shots take care of the Locusts, then I don't know if Reynor can stop this army. Both players right now, I want to say supply block, but Reynor's close to maxing out anyway. A couple sentries here, that'd be a nice pick-up if Reynor sees it. And he gets one of them.
Damage is damage. It's very, very important here for map number 5. Both players are about to have their +2 attack. +2's been done for the Protoss for a while here.
Oh, this could be it, Maynard. This could really be it to determine who's going to go to the semifinals.
Close. And come the Locusts here. So many Archons. Trap pulls back, trying to make those Locusts wait for their turn. And he is actually trying. Oh my god, the Biles connecting a bit there, but then the Prism Juggles come in. Trap pushing forward. Reynor trying to eject those Swarmhosts. They cannot fight. They're on cooldown. The Nidus network, the backside of the Nidus about to get picked up as well. So many Biles. Trap dodging every single one though.
Well, that's kind of what I mentioned, right? Like, yes, Reynor's still maxed out, but all of these Swarmhosts, if they can't fire, they're not that useful. Can he get the Prism here? That's massive. Reynor gets a Prism. That is very big.
No reinforcements here. Trap needs to make it happen with whatever he has right here on the front door of Reynor right now. The Swarmhosts are about to have Locusts back in the fight. The Oracle's pushing them back. The Roaches and the Ravagers very quickly. A second Prism rolling in here for Trap. So the Dream is still alive with his push.
Most of the Archons have gone down, though. Trap has lost a lot of expensive units, and he didn't really get that much. He got a base. He got 12 drones. That's good.
Full way back.
Wow, it's actually going to go on. I mean, look at the Spine Crawlers for some reason. Oh, the Swarmhosts are on the other side of the map now, dealing sick economic damage. This is fantastic for Reynor.
Yeah, the Swarmhosts looked like they wanted to save those Locusts to fight back at home, but he's like, nah, I got this. The Roaches and the Ravagers, they can fight this back. The Swarmhosts go across the map and they do a Nexus pickoff. And even though Trap only has a handful of workers and Reynor only has a handful of workers, he has a bank. He's got minerals, he's got a good bit of gas as well, and he is still mining a lot more, as we can see here in the graph.
That looked really scary, right? After all the Locusts disappeared, suddenly it's like Trap's army is still big. Like, he could maybe do this. I think Reynor did a very clever move in putting the Swarmhosts back into the Nidus, kind of as a safety zone. The Ravagers feel a little bit exposed here.
Yeah, he's sort of getting surrounded by a bit of a Protoss concave. Reinforcements as they come forward. Trap's forces are getting thinned out somewhat over here.
Good movement there by Reynor. That could have been ugly, but he saved the most of the important units.
Oh, another Nexus. Don't mind if I do. +2 attack. Locust getting right on that thing and right-clicking it, and down it goes. Crazy damage out of these Locusts. Their DPS is absolutely insane.
I think Trap has had enough. He's going to try to make it happen one more time before the Broodlords are out.
Yeah,
but the army just doesn't look as impressive as it looked before. The Immortals aren't really there anymore. We just got 2 on creep. This deep on creep. This doesn't end well for Protoss.
No, it does not. And